here's where we're at. I haven't got a lot done lately. Since the last race, honestly. Did some post-race maintenance type stuff. Might have showed you some of that. Don't remember. Everything's good with the bike. But we have had storms beyond storms beyond storms. Every third day we got severe storm warnings and rain and everything else going on. We're at 32 tornadoes for the year already. Normally that's an entire season's worth for us. We already got all of them. From what I've seen, not major damage like some of the smaller, EF1, 2 tornadoes, but no tornado is a good one. But this is the scenario right now. Obviously, I have not been able to get in there and do any work for the last few days because every couple days I gotta pack the garage full just to get that truck basically out of damage's way, hail and wind and everything else. I got a lot of trees around me everywhere. So when the wind gets whipping, I try to hide the truck inside best I can. But I got a plan for this video. We're gonna finally get back to the track and test tomorrow night, but I got some stuff I gotta do tonight, mainly get the garage rearranged and then go through the bike. I'm gonna do some clutch stuff and nothing fancy, but I'm gonna test something. And if this works, this could be a big money saver. If not, we're no worse for wear. Even if it ends up being an equal, with still money ahead. But for now, I'm gonna get the garage rearranged and then we'll get back into the bike stuff. So I knew when I started putting stuff in this garage, I measured things out. I remember putting the solvent tank and the aerosol cabinet on that side of the garage because they're shallower this wise from the wall than my 2-foot bench top. So I had planned this out to be able to fit the garage or the Dodge on that side of the garage. But this is how tight it is up to the front side. When the door comes down, this edge right here just misses my front license plate right there by about a ½ inch. But luckily I can get it in the garage at least. Here's what I got planned for tomorrow's track test session. Excuse me. The bike's ready to go. I already went through all of this from the last time I raced it. I went through the clutch, everything, compression, leak down, plugs, the whole deal. Oil change, we're good to go racing. I did put the clutch back together with what I had of all my miscellaneous steels and fibers, some used, some new, to get my stack height where I want. What I'm going to do is pull that clutch back out because I did some thinking and some talking to somebody else, and we are going to try, or we brainstormed the idea. That's an eBay clutch pack. Fibers only. It was like $31 or $32 for 10 fibers. These are all I got left of my fibers for this bike. These are all used. That's all I got left. Just various thicknesses that I'll use. I'll swap out 2 or 3 here and there to get my stack height back where I want it. This is all the steels I got. Most of these are used. There's new ones in there, whatever. I'll check on to make sure they're flat, and I keep various ones of different thicknesses. As long as they're not totally toast, I'll keep them. You never know in emergency when you're running low on supplies, like now, that you might have to fall back on some stuff that's questionable while you're at the track. But what I'm going to do is, because there is 10 of my eBay special fibers in here, they're all covered in oil. I did soak them. I'll give them a fair shot. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And these are all new, as you can see. This was a whole new set. What I'm going to do, the bike only takes 9 fibers. However, that's just because of the clutch that's in it. What I'm going to do is, because there's 10 new ones, I'm going to swap 5 of these in and then try to get my stack height correct with the combination of other used and new steels, fibers, whatever. But I'm going to make sure I have 5 of these in there, and we're going to go race this thing tomorrow and try to get 3 passes. I know what this thing will do with like an OEM style clutch pack, how much it wears roughly per pass or after a night of racing. I'm not going to monkey with the tune much. I might make a few changes if it spins a tire or something to get down the track. But I'm just going to take it as a regular night of testing the bike. And I'm going to leave the clutch alone. I'll cool it down between passes, but I'm not going to pull it apart or nothing. We're just going to take it as a regular test night for the bike. And then that'll be tomorrow night, Thursday. So then Friday, or at least this weekend, I'll tear this all back apart, and we're going to measure and look at these things and see what we got to compare to as far as what I know my my OEM stuff or the Suzuki stuff would wear at. So not a super scientific test we're going to do, but we're going to see how these hold up just after, one night of testing. And I'm only going to run them half the amount I have, because if this works, the other 5 are going with me to a race in 2 weekends from now. So if this works, I might order up another set. Hopefully they get here in time that I can start getting my stock built up and keeping this all stuff that stays in the trailer. But I'm hoping that if this works, like I have heard from a reliable source that's running a turbo booster that might happen to make a quite bit of power, they did the same thing. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get that tore apart, get these in, and before I put these in, actually I forgot. I gotta get my notepad, and I'm going to measure the thickness front, not front to back, from all the way in. So it'll be the bottom fiber all the way out to the front fiber. I'm going to measure the thickness and record it, and then we'll go back after this test day, we'll get it apart, and we'll measure everything again and see what wore better or worse. And like I said, this is just super not scientific. We're just going to see how these hold up. So for now, I'm going to get that apart and start measuring some stuff and get my stack height reset. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my clutch stack here and put that back in there quick. I'm going to pick out what looks like the best fibers I want to keep, and I have my eBay fibers right here. So I'm going to pull 5 of these out right away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I got my 5 that I'm going to put in. Leave them there. I'm going to get that out of the way. Now everything that comes out of the motor is going to go in here, or it comes out of my original stack there. So now I'm just going to do some sorting around. We'll break this down into, we'll get all the fibers and steel separated. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I might have said 9 before. I got 8. There's 8 fibers here. It's MTC Gen 2. So what I'm going to do is we need, what did I say, 8 total? 4 and 4, 8. Yeah, okay. So I need 8 total. We got 5 of our eBay clutch fibers. So I'm going to pick the 3 best out of here, and that's where I'm going to start with trying to figure out what my stack height is going to end up at. And then I'll try to adjust it with maybe a few thicker or thinner of these, or thicker or thinner, whatever I need, of the steels. But I got to measure these as I go. Take that one. That looks pretty good. We'll start with that. So for now, all I'm going to do is get the stack height right, and then I'll go through and measure each fiber individually and record that number. We'll mix them up in there a little bit. So what I did was just kind of randomly, not randomly, I'll make sure I have, it's going to go in this way. I got a new one all the way in, and then that actually ended up backwards. I wanted to do this. And I wanted a new one out on the face. And then the rest are kind of spaced out in there. So now I need to see where we're at for the stack height. One inch 530. One inch 530. One inch 530. Okay, so I'm technically 30 thou thicker than where I want to be, which is kind of to be expected considering I have 5 brand new fibers in there. That's a lot to put in for me at one time. And yeah, so that fiber measures about 110. I keep saying fiber. There's no V in it. Fiber. So the new fibers measure about 110, just doing it quick. A lot of the ones I've been running are like 105, 104. So if I got 4 of them, or I'm sorry, if I got 5 new fibers that are now 5 thou thicker than I normally run to maintain my stack height, that's where I'm 30 thou thicker than I'd like to be. So I'm going to go through the my used fibers and see if I can thin it out that way. And then I believe I have one steel in here is thick. Yeah, try to run a couple thick ones towards the center. So that's 110. So I'll be able to get a lot back just in the one steel. We'll start with that. So we will ditch that steel. I'll get a thin one quick. So we'll put a brand new one in just because I have them. 85 thou. So this is going to get us close already. So I might not have to look for as thin of fibers as I originally thought. My hands are getting oily. This is getting messy. See, now we're only 10 thou over. So I won't be able to run that thick steel in the center. A lot of times I try to run 2 thick steels towards the center of the pack, just because they'll take heat in the middle quite a bit better than the thin ones do. So now I gotta find the used fibers, which is going to be these 3. We'll see how thick these are, and we got to get between the 3 of them. I got to lose 10 thou. So it's about 108. So that's a little bit thicker. About 104, so that's a little bit thinner. About 104. So we'll dig through these guys, which are all pretty okay. There's a 103, so we'll use that. Where am I gonna set that there? And what did I say this one was? 108? Yeah, 108. So we'll save that one. There's a 104. So we are going to start with I put one back I need. Okay, yeah, 105. So we'll put these in and see how close we are to my 1.5 number I like. Don't use my 1.5 as the gospel if you're doing this yourself. It's just a number I came up with that I found works good for what I do, which is a lot of bullshit, track prep, no prep kind of stuff. And also got to get sometimes, you know, from going rounds, 5-6 passes sometimes out of the clutch. We don't get time to service much. So that was about 505. 503. It's got to measure better. I'm rushing. 505. 505. So I still got to lose about 5 thou. I'm half tempted to let it ride. 5 thou is not going to make or break this whole deal. Sometimes I've started out with my stack height, you know, 5 to 10 thou thicker than I shoot for, just because it'll, you know, I might lose that during you know, the length of an event if I'm going with quite a few rounds. But as far as the clutch fibers, I don't really want to go too much thinner on their overall thickness to try to get that extra 5 thou. Yeah, start getting close to 100 thou on a fiber, and there's just not much left on them. So I think we're gonna run with this 1 inch 505 is my number right now. So what I need to do is find a way to not make a mess and measure these things. Maybe I'll get a paper towel and a Sharpie. Bear with me, this is super messy and unorganized on my part. Okay, I got my notepad. And we'll use a Sharpie because I can use it in my gloves to do it. And then we'll transfer everything over to a more organized looking write-out. So now the clutch is going to go in this way. I got all my steels going the right way. So all I'm going to measure is the thickness of the fibers right now. Steels I'm not concerned with. I let them ride probably longer than I should, but it works. So first fiber in 108, 108, 108, 108. Second fiber 108, 108. There's just consistency in these knockoff fibers. 108, 108, 108. That's a good sign. Seeing a real pattern here. 108 on that. I mean, I like seeing that anyways. Let's hope they perform. This is our first used one we've come across now. 104. 104. 104. Second used one. 103, 103, 103. Third used one. 104. 102. Did I measure that wrong? 103. 103. 103. We'll call it 103. But I just got a weird spot. And then the last new eBay fiber, that'll be on the outside of the stack. 108. 108. 108. All right. Okay, now I'm going to put this thing together here. I went ahead and transferred everything over to a little bit cleaner layout here. So I got all my thicknesses measured from the bottom of the basket to the outer. Before test thicknesses, after test thickness, and then I got them listed here as EB would be an eBay fiber, OE is an OEM fiber. I'll measure them after the test, and then we'll go ahead and just make a quick note of how much each fiber loses through our test session. Trouble is tomorrow night, I don't know if I'm going to get 1 pass or 7 passes, but I'm hoping for 3. If I can just get 3 passes, that's a good night for this thing, and that's not tying up the entire evening at the track. And 3 passes, 3 is about the normal of what I get when I go down to the track on a given weeknight. So if I get 3 passes on this thing tomorrow, that'll give me a real good comparison as to how well these fibers hold up under a normal test session scenario. So that's kind of it for now. This will be a 2-part deal. This is kind of getting ready to go test, and then the next video will be our test session and hopefully breakdown of the clutch afterwards with no other problems that we got to worry about fixing. I'm just real curious to see how these hold up. You know, everything is getting knocked off these days. For all I know, those are, you know, OEM fibers that are out of a package, you know, just opened up. Or they're getting knocked off somewhere and they're really awesome. Or they could be totally junk. We don't know, but I want to find out. Because if I can keep buying 10 fibers for $32, I'm going to go buy like 4 more if this works. Other thing is, some guys don't know, if you're running the backdated clutch setup early 1000 clutches, 0405 ZX10 clutch fibers and steels fit, and all your DRZ 400 clutches are the same. I used to get some of the Kawasaki stuff because you could get, for whatever reason, they got different thickness steels. You could get more variety from what I could find for Suzuki stuff anyways. That's how I ended up with those thick steels that are in that whole pack. I got a few of them kind of floating around. They're from a Kawasaki clutch pack. But yeah, that's it for now. The next vid, we'll see how this all shakes out.